Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be learning the top 3 best chess traps to win your opponent's queen instantly. I hope you guys enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, this first trap is called the Petros Defense trap. In this trap, you will learn to win your opponent's queen in only 6 moves. So, the trap starts off with pawn to e4, and then your opponent plays pawn to e5. Then you play knight to f3, attacking your opponent's e5 pawn. Your opponent responds with knights to f6, attacking your e4 pawn. You respond with taking your opponent's pawn with your knights. And then your opponent takes your pawn. Then you play queen to e2, attacking your opponent's knights. Now, your opponent can make a fatal mistake here by moving his knight back to f6. Because then you play knights to c6, giving a discovered check on your opponent's king and attacking your opponent's queen with your knights. Now, your opponent has to block the check. And then, boom, you're already up a queen. Now, for the final demonstration. And that is how you win your opponent's queen in just 6 moves with the Petros Defense trap. This next trap is called the Vienna Gambit trap. So, this trap starts off with pawn to e4, and then your opponent plays pawn to e5. Then you play knights to c3, defending your e4 pawn. Your opponent responds with knights to f6. Then you play pawn to f4, offering your opponent a free pawn. Your opponent accepts the gambits, taking the pawn. Then you play pawn to e5, attacking your opponent's knights. Your opponent plays queen to e7, pinning the pawn to your king. Then you play queen to e2, breaking the pin. Now, your opponent has no option but to move his knight back. Then you play knights to f3, getting your second knight into the game. Your opponent responds with pawn to d6, challenging your e5 pawn. You completely ignore that and play knights to d5, attacking your opponent's queen. Your opponent moves his queen to d7. But then, you sacrifice your knights, taking the pawn on c7. And now, if your opponent's a beginner, he's probably going to take the knight with his queen. But, that's actually a huge mistake. Because then, you play pawn takes on d6, giving a discovered check on your opponent's king and attacking your opponent's queen with your pawn. If your opponent blocks the check with his queen, then you simply just take your opponent's queen with your pawn. If your opponent instead blocks the check with his bishop, then you still win a queen. Now for the final demonstration. And that is how you win your opponent's queen with the Vienna Gambits. This last trap is called the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambit. So, this lethal gambit starts off with pawn to e4, and then your opponent plays pawn to e5. Instead of capturing, you're actually going to play knights to f3, offering your opponent a free pawn. Your opponent accepts, taking the pawn. And then you play knights to g5. Your opponent responds with knights to f6. Then you play pawn to d3, offering your opponent another pawn. Your opponent accepts, taking the pawn. And then you take back with your bishop. Now, your opponent really wants to get rid of this knight right here. So, he plays pawn to h6, attacking your knights. Then, you sacrifice your knights, taking the pawn on f7, forking your opponent's queen and rook. Your opponent takes your knights with his king. But then you play bishop to g6, giving another check. Your opponent's best move is to take the bishop. But now your opponent's queen is undefended, and that wins you a free queen. Now for the final demonstration. And that is the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambits. And those are the top 3 best chess traps to win your opponent's queen instantly. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.